Welcome to The Real Deal, where it's all about businesses in central Massachusetts and northeastern Connecticut. And now, your host, Anthony Chabot of Chabot and Associates.
Hey everybody, it's Anthony Chabot with Chabot and Associates Real Estate Group of EXP, and welcome to the Real Deal Business Podcast. On today's show, I have a very special guest, Trave Harmon from Triton Technologies. Welcome to the show, Trav.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, your business, where you're from, what is it that you do?
I own Triton Technologies. We're based out of Worcester, Massachusetts. We're a managed IT services company that focuses on infrastructure. So when people ask, so do you fix computers? Actually, kind of no. We actually do the infrastructure, the big picture, from servers, networks, phone systems, Wi-Fi, email, the whole kit and caboodle. And somebody asks, I'm looking to fix my kid's computer. Don't handle it. That's residential. We do banks. We do military, government. We do hospitality. We do distributed systems. Somebody has an office in California, Georgia, Connecticut, Massachusetts. You want them all to talk together? That's what we do. And the idea is this. Our business takes away from your business focusing on managed IT. So when you're worried about your employees coming to you every 15 minutes about email issues, printing issues, that's my problem. You need to focus on your business, how you grow, how you adapt, how you evolve, and I focus on taking those problems in the computer networks, phones, email, internet, all away.
So you do a lot of different things, and actually, what I was about to get into is I'm trying to remember how we first met, actually, because you and I have like a tangled web of cross meeting in different networking associations and different businesses all over Central Mass and Northeastern Connecticut over the last probably 10 years, I would think.
Easily.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think we met at a Northeast Connecticut Chamber of Commerce event. We traded cards. Probably MySpace back then. It's sad, but basically from Facebook advancing on, you've changed your business model. I've changed my business model, but we've kept in contact, and that's the thing is I always make friends, never make enemies, and here we are today.
Well, the other thing is that you and I are both from Northeast Connecticut, but I'd never even realized that until just now. I think I might have known it at one point, but it probably slipped my mind because when I think of you, it's funny because I think of you as a Central Mass guy because we know each other from, I think, mainly Central Mass and in our business dealings and people that know each other. I see you out in Central Mass at the Realtor Association. Talk to other people. You handle their IT stuff, or over the years, I think the Chamber of Commerce. Like there's so many different organizations that you've managed their IT services over the years that I've been in those places, and I've seen your cards, and I've talked to the people that manage the places, and they know you, and it's like you're everywhere. I see your logo everywhere. I see you driving on the highway. We see each other out on the town sometimes, and we see each other, of course, all over Facebook all the time.
Yep. So. I started my company in 2001, moved in 2005 to Worcester, and just started acquiring and growing and talking. And yes, Worcester Chamber of Commerce, the Worcester Regional Association, Worcester Regional Association of Realtors, which eventually became Realtor Association of Central Mass, or Rackham. Still have them. Great client, fantastic. And now I'm concentrating back onto accessory states such as Connecticut, Rhode Island. We have clients in Michigan, Florida, Georgia, all over the place, but just slowly growing, making sure that their clients are happy, make sure they're getting the services they want, how they want, the method they want it in, and making sure they're safe, secure, and they concentrate on their main business. And yeah, I try to go to a lot of events as life moves on. Some I can't attend to, but I try to go to as much as I can, how often I can, and in the circles. Like they say, the world is small if you know what to look for. And yeah, I see a lot of people, same ones, time after time, and here we are.
So you have a lot of interests. You do a lot of different things, and we're going to get into all of that. Actually, can you give us a brief overview to somebody that doesn't know you, that can compartmentalize it nice and easily to describe what it is that you do? So, like, if I'm a business and what do I need to need your services? What types of services do I need?
So the biggest thing I ask people is not so much technological, but psychological. Are your employees coming up to you with problems? And is it eating a lot of your day? Is it eating a lot of your time? Like, I can't get an email. I can't figure out why I can't access this website. This is down. The printer is not working. When those begin to become your job, that's when you need us. When it has become more problematic and you're wasting more time, then it's our job and you need to outsource. And as a business owner, I know how much I pay per paper, per toner, per light on, to employee, to the computer on. I know how much. And you as a business owner, when you sit around lunchtime and you spent the entire morning fixing stuff that has nothing to do with your job. I can't get an email. I don't understand why I can't send this client this. The printer isn't working. What's a PC load letter? I don't know. The point is, that's our problem. Your job is to help grow your company. Our job is to help take those responsibilities away from wasting your time. You don't want to approach 5 p.m. and you've done nothing all day except fix computer problems. I want that job. I need that job. Those are what my people are for. You've had a hard drive failure. You're expanding rapidly. You don't know what to do. You're opening the store, you're opening a location. A competitor has decided to sell to you. What do? You come to us. You help yourself by coming to us. I need to open up a location in a town in Worcester. I don't know who to call. Call us. We have the vendor relations. We have the infrastructure. We have the partnerships. The idea is, I bought a building. I'm going to rent out 80% of it to other people, but I want to make my money back. How do I do it? Yes, great. The internet's a wonderful utility to trade ideas and weird things and so forth, but how do I make money on it? That's not your problem. Your problem is to do what you do. Photography, management, real estate, printing, retail. It doesn't matter. Your job isn't IT. That's our job. Outsource it. And we do it cheaper, faster, simpler than if you hired your own person. Now, a lot of people will then ask, well, I can hire somebody out of college. Good luck. I'm hiring them first. And that is where that is at. The days of yore that you could hire a college kid, your nephew, person right up are gone. You have compliances, methodologies, requirements. You're done. That's what we do. If you're a doctor, real estate, property management, I need to work from Florida as if I was working in my office in Worcester, Massachusetts. That's our job. And if you let us do our job, you will be shocked on how simple, easy, and cost-effective it is.
All right, well, you went over a lot of stuff there, so I'm trying to make it a little bit easier for people to understand because, I want to make it so that somebody that's listening to this podcast could say, all right, I understand. This is the kind of service that he provides. Let me give him a call and see if he can help me in my situation. So, basic computer networking, troubleshooting, printers, internet access, emails not working correctly, stuff like that. If they're having that type of thing, that's your main bread and butter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and like in real estate, we work with a lot of real estate agencies. You have a lot of subcontractors, you have a lot of partners, you have a lot of owners. I basically want to be able to share files with everybody at the same time. How do I do it? And they don't have like-kind systems. They have Macs, PCs, even a tablet. How do I share the documents? How would I make it simple? Remember, these are real estate agents. They're not IT. I want to be able to pull up a tablet, pull up this, and you literally are walking through a property going, I want to make an offer now. How do I make it simple? That's what we do. Mm-hmm. And that's the idea. It's great to look at a 360 degree of the whole... Great. What about financing? What about throwing it to the banks? How do I make it secure? How do I make it safe? That's our job. Mm-hmm. And we do that. And we do it every day. And we make sure that the products, services, and methodologies we implement are to work with everybody, not just the technologically savvy or even the layman's, but everybody in between. And that's the idea, is you concentrate on what you're doing, and we help give you the tools to concentrate on it, and we make it simple. That's it. So we look at the infrastructure. We look at, do you need phones? Do you need printers? Do you need Wi-Fi? You're running a hotel, and your biggest complaint is Wi-Fi, which is actually the biggest reason why we get hospitality clients. You're getting a 2-star review. Food was great. The bed bugs barely bit, and then the Wi-Fi was horrible. How do we work with that? And that's what we do. We get a lot of requests for that, and it's simple if you know how. A lot of people ask, well, how do you do it? Well, you know what? I'm Willy Wonka. I'm not about to show the Oompa Loompas, but it happens. We've got the process down. We've got the methodology. We just did a multi-site throughout Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Michigan, and Georgia for a campground. Multi-locations. Got it done. The guy experienced 5 years of problems. This is the first year he actually had no one complaining. And he just bought more today for a place he has in Ohio. That's the point. It's simple. It's elegant. It works. He's had the biggest weekend with the most people, with Memorial Day starting off. That's the idea. You make your money, you move on. Now, do you want to know the details? Yeah, we'll sit, we'll have a coffee, we'll discuss the details. But the end of the day is, I don't want you to come in at 9 a.m. in the morning and have to spend your entire day working on computers. Because Friday, 4 p.m., you're going to realize things have gone wrong, you've done nothing, you've improved your business, and everything's gone to hell. We want you to walk in at 9 o'clock in the morning. By Wednesday, I want you to say, why are you paying? Why are we paying this guy? There's nothing wrong. Then we're going to sit down and I'm going to tell you all the problems we fixed, and then you'll be like, oh, okay, then we move on. And that's sadly, literally most of our clients. We've solved their problems, we've moved on, they're stable, they're happy, they're making their money, and then they're like, what do we pay you for? Because of this. And then we explain it. And then we explain all the work. We had a client who decided to say, we don't want your managed IT services. Can we go to hourly? But we want to keep all the stuff and we want to charge you hourly. You got it. Let me charge you hourly. He was paying $1,000 a month for his 15 employees. All right, Bob. We'll call him Bob. We'll do that. But I'm going to charge you hourly for everything we did. He goes, okay. I left all the stuff on, but I turned it to billable. He received an $87,000 bill the next month. And he goes, what was all this? I said, well, you got 3 or 4 days? He goes, you meant hours. I said, days. I'm going to explain everything we did because you thought we didn't know what we did. We have people who literally stare at a heads-up display. Your computer acting a little wonky? Somebody's on it. Your backup didn't work? We're on it. Server is not transferring files enough? We're on it. And that's what our people do. And it's sad but true, but we have multiple heads-up displays. We've got a team of people. And any deviation from the norm, our people are on it. Now, if you can hire a team, a half a dozen people, just in that group alone, good luck. You don't need our services. But for small businesses that want a team of IT people, who want a chief information officer, who want people who give them good, solid recommendations that last a half a decade or more, that's what we do.
Well, it sounds like you definitely know your stuff. You're very confident, and you have a lot of experience. How many years have you been doing this?
I started my business in 2001, but I was born into this. My dad was a nuclear engineer at Groton, bought his first computer, a Commodore VIC-20, 1981. And I remember programming that at age 5. And so I started long before everyone. When somebody asks, what the hell is a modem? Oh, it's what the cable people plug it. Oh, no. This was 300 baud when it came out. This is when it started. When somebody goes, like, well, were you there when it started? I was there. I was lighting the torch. I was there. We were good to go. We were rocking it. I remember spending 8 weeks of allowance saving up for a 2400 baud modem, which modems are, cellular modems are now a factor of 1,000 to 10,000 plus now. But that gave me a foundation of what has happened then, what has happened now. And I've seen how it's evolved, how it's moved, how it's moved to the next step, and how the business requirements, the business needs and demands are the same. They need good quality recommendations, good technology, something that works every day, something that is simple to use. That's it. Like I said in the beginning, it's not about technology, it's about psychology. Getting the right technology to meet your psychological demands. I want to turn it on and to work. I got that. I want it to be safe and secure. I got that. I want it to be able to, no matter where I am on any platform, I want it to work. I got that. That's what I do. And when somebody goes, are you a PC, Mac, or Linux guy? I'm like, wherever the check clears, I don't care. Because everything I sell, everything I work with, everything I service works with everything everyone's got. At the end of the day, Mac, PC, Linux, phone, tablet, I don't care. How do you want to access it? Do you want it to access right? And is it a requirement of the provider? Are you using a specialty software? Can we work with this way? Okay, can we work that? I have an accountant who absolutely loves his iPad, absolutely refuses to change everything else. Militant to the core. Great. Your software doesn't work on iPads. It doesn't work on Macs. Well, can we install Boot Camp? You can install whatever you want. It's not going to run what you want. Let's throw in Amazon Workspaces. To this day, now that was 2016. To this day, he still runs it and has deployed it throughout the entire company. He has Macs everywhere. Not a single one runs his programs. They all run to a virtual desktop environment on Amazon. They all run his accounting. He could be in Florida. He could be on Aruba. It doesn't matter. He runs his tablet, pushes and he's done. That's the idea. He pays for that. He wants to sit on a beach.
I've never heard of that before. So you're saying that you could run an Amazon desktop?
It's called Workspaces. You literally pull up Amazon Workspaces. You could run a powerful PC on your phone. Now, is it operating on your phone? Absolutely not. It's linking to an Amazon data center that has the virtual running, and people run the programs on there. It's safe, secure, it meets compliance guidelines, HIPAA guidelines, and the thing is that because it's running in its own environment, we don't have to worry about any data transferring to his tablet. His agenda was, I want to go to Jamaica, I want to pull up my iPad Pro, I want to submit a couple IRS returns, and that be it. Can you do that? Yes, we can. And we did. And then he deployed it to everyone else. So now what ends up happening is he has a team of 15 people, but in his office, he can physically only fit 5. But he controls all the data wherever he goes. It doesn't matter. He can run it off his cell phone. An IRS audit comes in, a DOR audit comes in from a client. He can run the program on his phone and access the data. That's what he wanted. But he's not thinking about that. That's the idea. He's concentrating on his business, not its infrastructure. Mm-hmm. We concentrate on the infrastructure. When people ask about that, I have to educate them the difference between fixing a computer to make it not break again for a short period of time. But what we do is make sure the infrastructure is always there, that your train is always on the rail, it's never going to fall off, and we don't have to worry about it going out of control. He just choo-choos along.
So you're very impressive to me. I have to give you a lot of credit. Whenever I meet you, you have a big personality. You've got you're a little bit on the loud side when we're out and I see you out there and I'm sitting next to you. We're having a conversation.
You know it's me.
I'm like, wow, he is loud. But you know, it's like you have a real bold personality, but you really have this sort of a genius type of you impress me with the way that you think, and the amount of information that you process it blows me away. And I've heard you go off on a rant sometimes about different subjects, and I'm just like, this guy is like nobody that I've ever met before. He's got this sort of a genius type of a mentality, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Like, how do you I'm still trying to like figure you out, like how do you work, like what makes you tick and that type of thing, because you're into so many things. You have a lot of ambition.
Yes.
You're a real go-getter.
The point is, and I focus on when somebody asks what's the old saying? Jack of all trades, master of none. I'm not. I will tell you right now to your face, I am not the master. I'm not the jack of all trades. I'm a master in IT infrastructure. Somebody goes, so you'll help set up my QuickBooks? No. I will make sure your QuickBooks is running. You can log in, you can set up your profile, you can get your logins, and you get all your passwords and everything. You can print, you can access your QBW file. That's infrastructure. I need to set up my general ledger and transfer. That's not us. That's a specialty within accounting. I need to set up a system. Prime example is we have a client in Worcester. They do Middle Eastern foods. Delicious, make no mistake. It's fantastic food. We get like every other Friday. We get lunch for the office. Point is, their QuickBooks was so old and antiquated that the cost versus benefit was not there to upgrade the physical system. So I said, listen, your 4 computers are older than all of my kids combined times 10. Why don't we get you an Amazon server, remote desktop into it, and the point is, you have a dozen trucks that deliver this food, stuffs, candies, miscellaneous to all of these small stores. It's all logistics. When a person in your company delivers stuff at 11 o'clock, what do they do now? Well, they come back, they put in the files, we get it about 3 days later, we all figure it out, and blah, blah. So 3 days later, somebody put in a big demand, and it's 72 hours for you to solve. Why don't we reduce that to like a half hour? He goes, not possible. I said, it is possible. We sold them Surface Pros with cellular hotspots. And so when you are a small business and you're like, listen, we had a run. We had a run on bread. We had a run on these candies. We had a run on this hummus. We need a ton of it. We need it like now. It's like, there's some kind of holiday coming up and we need a lot of it. You can't wait 3 days. It takes 2 days logistically to get it to you. So it's 5 days down. It's a week out. Think of it, a week out. Can I get it to you in 2 days? Now we do. So now they have Surface Pros. You as a business owner, all right, listen, I need 4 pounds of hummus. Great, boom, done. And all right, I need 100 loaves of this kind of bread. Boom, boom. All right, I need this, I need that, I need grape leaves. Boom, done. They will have it on the truck for delivery tomorrow. Now. Previously, it would be 7 days out, including the weekends. And that's what saved him a ton of money. And so now he's been able to double. He's now got up to 30 trucks. And now they're all still accessing the same resource. They don't have to think. They're delivery guys. Log in, boom, boom, go into the QuickBooks Enterprise, boom, done. The next truckload, which is tomorrow, it's coming in. They don't have to fill out paperwork. It's all there. And because we don't have it all tracked, through all their trucks, through all we use a program from PepLink that tracks all the trucks, so we can see who's goofing off now. They've had to fire a few people from goofing off. It's not only saving you money, it's making you money, taking your current assets and making them in their maximum. So it's about a lot of stuff. And I'm incredibly excited because, one, I've seen where businesses can make their money. I've seen where they were losing the money. And it is exciting when you can take a company that is losing money, convert it to a company that's making money. You can see how they're growing. You can see how they go psycho about, oh my God, all this stuff is now working, or all these miscellaneous things. And that's what you have to get excited about, because a lot of people, like I said, are not in my industry, but I'm in my industry. I see what people need. Can I sell you everything under the sun? Yeah, that's not my goal. I sell solutions. I tell that to my techs. I tell that to my vendors. I've yelled at my vendors before. I sell solutions. I don't sell hardware. You want me to sell the latest Dell Latitude? Why? Why do I have to push that? Why, when it's 3 times the price, does half the job? No reason. I'm not pushing it. There's nothing. That's why Dell doesn't call me anymore. That's why half the vendors don't call me anymore, because I'm not pushing the crap. I'm pushing solutions. If it takes a Dell Latitude with an i5, 8 gigs of RAM and SSD, with Sophos, SharePoint, and all this stuff, and it costs less than $1,000, why? Why do I have to sell a $3,000 machine? Why? Because you had to make your quarterly margins? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't work for you. I work for my client. My client doesn't want that. It's not going to do anything except alienate them and tick me off. When it's selling a $1,000 solution that's going to last 5 to 10 years, and we're done. And then they're going to get people who like their Macs, who like their Amazon Fire tablets, who is in real estate sitting on their couch. All of a sudden, they see boink on their phone. Wait, there's a real estate deal. This guy, cash in hand. Oh, crap. oh wait, that's Game of Thrones. I don't want to miss that. But they can watch Game of Thrones, they can close the deal, and then at the end of that, everyone's walking away with a smile, not looking at the TV. But they're all walking away with a smile. And that's the idea, is to make people happy, be comfortable with the technology, and not be scared with it. Now, like I said, I'm focused on IT infrastructure. Somebody asks, so do you make programs? Nope. So do you have a preference on computer? Not really. Everything has its place. It's what you're trying to do, how you're trying to do it, and the method you're trying to do it in. And then we work with that. Do we have what they call a stack or a preferred type of vendor? Yes. Why? It works. I'm not selling you something because it has high margins. I'm selling you something because 4 years from now, you're like, we're not sure if it works because it's worked every time. We don't know if it's failed. That's the idea. We don't want you to complain. There are some days we don't get any calls. That's what we want. We want to see on our big heads-up display, on there, 0 servers down, 0 workstations down, all the machines are patched. We like that. You don't have to worry about your Windows updates. You don't have to worry about that little freaking bubble next to your time. It's there. You're working on your business, and that's what we do. Infrastructure. And I'm passionate about it because I grew up with it. I knew what people need. I know how they need. I know how much they get frustrated. I myself threw my own fax machine out my 5-story building, 390 Main Street in 2006. I was so angry with it. 4 hours I tried to send this fax. I'm done. I'm going to Staples, and I threw it out. Saturday afternoon, it shattered on Elm Street, and to this day, it was the best technological upgrade I've ever had. I went to cloud-based fax. I got it scanned in. I'm good. But I understand their frustration, and I put in solutions that work. I've been there. I've done that. I don't want to do it again.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I have always been anti-fax.
Yeah. To this day,
How many anti-fax are?
To this day, people still, medical businesses, insurance still live by it. I'm like, this is the technology. It was invented when we were on the moon.
It's terrible. The worst quality image comes through. You know, if you can even read it, if you can read the wording in it. So we went over IT services for companies, but that's not all that you do, really. That's because it is, right? But you focus on some newer industries that instead of just general business, you have some new kind of things that you've been working on. And I wanted to kind of get into those a little bit. So can we talk about the next one? I don't know if you wanted to talk about real estate or cloud services next.
All the above.
Okay.
So basically, realtors are very mobile. Macs, PCs, laptops, tablets. You could be discussing with a client at a coffee shop, Victoria Station, or Starbucks, whatever you see fit. Point is, you have to be literally Johnny and Jane on the spot. When a person is about to walk in with their pre-qualifications and their bank documents, you have to be the same. You know, I want to make an offer on the showing I just saw. I want to full price. How do you do that? Mm-hmm. You have to literally whip out your laptop, your tablet, and get it done. Mm-hmm. You cannot be waiting 2 or 3 days. Why? Because an offer from somebody else who has already been ahead of you has already done so. Mm-hmm. It is a war. Make no mistake. What weapons do you want to bring to the field? And if you feel like being old school, well, you know, the dinosaurs had their chance too. And they're gone. The point is, you need to be able to be on the spot, deliver, and be able to make it safe, secure, and easy to use. So if you want to produce a offer on the spot, pull up your Adobe Acrobat, fill in the details. I want to make a full offer, $275 today now. Adobe document signed, send to the other realtor. They want it before the closing of that showing. They already have an offer. They already have it. So when they come back to you and goes, well, we want 10,000 above. You have to be able to be on the spot. Now, it just doesn't extend to email or documents or laptops. It's everything. From your cell phones to your Wi-Fi. I want to be able to pull off the side of the highway because I had $1 million offer that is going to make my century. Mm-hmm. I need to handle it now. How do I do it? Luckily, we have those solutions. We have the cellular. We have the tablets. We have the ability, and I've done it myself, to crack open the back of your van, plop your laptop down, and nobody knows you're working there, but you're closing deals. You're making more than that van is ever worth. Mm-hmm. You're making people happier faster than ever before. There's nothing worse. And I've been there. I've bought my house. Well, let me get back to you, Trav, when I get home at 7 p.m. tonight. It's freaking 9 a.m. What? No, dude, seriously, they got 3 other people. Why don't we just get ahead of the curve? Can we push to the front of the crowd? I can't wait 10 hours. You know what? I can't even wait 10 minutes. How do I put solutions in place that do that? How do I make solutions in place that solve that time gap?
Yeah, interesting.
How do I take the pictures I just took of a property in Norwich from Ellington and send it to home office? How do I send those pictures that I don't have the time to sit down and upload, send it to somebody at that office to upload online to get that listing on before 12 noon until 11:45? How do I do that? Mm-hmm. We have that. And then how do we do it safely? How do we secure it? I lost my phone. What do I do? Well, don't panic. Let me send a code to destroy the phone. It's encrypted. It's this and that. How do we do it on a safe website? How do I do all these little things? Not just email, not just a computer, but from your phones. I have a real estate office. I'm the owner. I have 30 agents under me. People work on their cell phones and fax. All of a sudden I let 3 people go, and this guy died, and she went out on maternity. And then next thing you know, I've got a half a dozen very angry people because they're not getting back to them because they changed their cell phone and this. How do I make a consistent phone number? How do I get everybody to work off their cell phones but do it effectively? So when they call out, it comes from our main number. So if that person's in Aruba and they see $1 million listing on a Memorial Day weekend, and can I pass it to another agent to make it happen? Or they took pictures. How do I get my team to work cohesively and concisely? We do that. And that's the thing. Now, am I going to get into the details? I always tell everybody, not a chance. You want software names? Not going to happen. But you come to me with a problem. I need my people to work together. I need them to share information. I need to call into a single phone number. And I need my people, when they call on their cell phones, to call out on the main number. We have solutions for that. Like I said, we're a solutions provider. You come to me with a problem, I come to you with a solution. I need a real estate agency with 30 people to work together. Somebody gets a deal, they get an accident on the way home. Accidents kind of suck. How do I still close the deal from the emergency room? Technically, we've done it, and that's the idea. And how do I make it consistent? How do I make it to where I'm in vacation in Oregon? How do I make the deal happen in Connecticut? How do I make it seamless? How do I make it safe? How do I make it secure? How do I make it compliant? We got that.
All right. Well, it's pretty convincing to me. I get to see that stuff every day, so I get to, I have a little bit of an inside understanding on how that stuff works. It's actually, it's pretty simple for the most part, but I like the idea that you just brought up about being able to get stuff done when you're on the road at 9:30 a.m. and then you're going to be home at 7:30 p.m. I actually do run into that sometimes. Not so much with real estate, but with photography, because I'm also a real estate photographer. But like I actually had a request today from a realtor from Massachusetts that wanted me to make a change to a single property website that I created for her, with a drone video and photography and a floor plan, all that stuff on there. And I ran into a problem and I have a Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus, and it just, with the page, it loaded, but it just would not completely load and allow me to finish the adding the information in there. So that exact scenario actually happened to me today, but I think it would have been fine if my phone would have fully loaded the web page. I think it was because I was either in a bad cell phone area or because maybe that particular web page isn't really well suited for mobile. But
not surprised.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised too that it didn't load, because it loaded right away in the beginning. But anyway, so I'm off on a tangent a little bit here. Let's get into. Did we cover the cloud services?
Well, it is complementary to what we've done. Was the day where you had POP IMAP email is dead. We have less than a hand of clients, maybe 2 or 3, that are an old POP IMAP, and I think most of them are converting this year. A lot of people ask, well, what does that mean? For the last 40 years, we were using a protocol that was invented in the late 60s. POP, point of presence, and IMAP. It's dead. Most people want to be able to share their emails, their calendar contacts with other people. I need to know if that realtor is available at 3 p.m. for a showing. I need to know if that lawyer is available for 2 p.m. for a closing or something along those lines. POP IMAP doesn't do that. We do hosted exchange. We do distributed distribution groups. We do distributed email groups, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We put in those emails. That's cloud. I need to be able to run on a Mac a Windows-based operating system, but I don't want it to be here because I'm everywhere. I have a broker, has 8 machines, all of them Mac. None of them run any of the programs he runs because he accesses an Amazon Workspaces, and he accesses all of his files on there. On top of that is other brokers. He has an office that's less than 100 square feet, but he has 5 employees. And they all access this workspace. It's safe, secure, encrypted. They can't copy files off. They can't print it off. They can't do anything he doesn't want them to do. So he's in total control of the data at any given time. And that's Amazon Cloud. Now, a lot of people go, well, what about Microsoft Azure and Google this and that? Every competitor, everyone has their own specialty, their own performance, their own price point. I'm an Amazon shop because of one reason. Legendary technical support. I call up Amazon. They have never, ever not picked up, not, N-O-T, not picked up in under 15 seconds. And they have never not given me a solution under a day. That, for my clients, when you're running hot, heavy, and fast, is impressive and legendary. So when you come to a client and go, listen, Amazon's 20% more, but I'll give you an answer in a day. Versus Google and Amazon, I'll give you an answer in a month. Yeah, you know what? Why don't we go with the AWS and solve this problem? I've never been able to not solve them. Everyone who's come to us with Azure or Google, try to get Google on the phone. They don't exist. They don't exist. Amazon, they do all day long. Never been able to get them over 15 seconds.
Impressive. So this is a side of Amazon that a lot of people don't see, but you hear about a lot. You look through computer magazines, you see Amazon services all over the place. But even as I consider myself a computer guy, although the more I talk to you, the more I realize how not a computer guy I am anymore.
That's fine. I'm not in accounting and I don't do plumbing. It's fine.
But I mean, I started out...
We know our specialties.
I started out same as you, Commodore 64, VIC-20, whatever it was when we started out. Yep. Programming basic language, like little things here and there when we were a little grown up. And then throughout the process, through... there was a TRS-80 and then the IBM PCs. Yes. And then... the PCs, and then I have converted to Mac. I didn't go willingly in the beginning, but I actually needed to use Final Cut Pro. That's what got me to try a Mac.
The video editing, yes, love it. It's beautiful.
And then I actually still use Adobe Premiere Pro because Final Cut switched to Final Cut 10, and I just didn't have the time to dedicate to learn that basically a completely new ecosystem for editing. So now I just still use Premiere, and I love it. And
but it works well.
I use Mac systems though right now, which. I used to be a severe, strict Windows guy, and once I did the Final Cut Pro and I got to learn the Mac system, I actually never went back to Windows again. But like you said, it doesn't matter. You can still run whatever you want. I'm happy with Mac and just keep it simple.
People, if you're happy and you know it, buy your SaaS products. It doesn't matter. Just work with it. We don't care. At the end of the day, most of our cloud-based software, like Adobe Acrobat, the Adobe series is entirely cloud. Doesn't matter Mac, PC. It doesn't matter. Macs and PCs are converging onto a single kernel. Like Apple itself. After OS X 10, a lot of people go, well, it's fairly new. No, it's about 20 years old. Mac OS X 10 became in existence from FreeBSD, which is a cousin of Linux. And when Mac OS X 9, when Steve Jobs came back into play and realized what are the limitations, they could not be overcome because of the Mac OS 9. They said, well, let's switch to something else that actually does its job. Yeah, I'm simplifying it, but there's a long timeline. They switched to FreeBSD because, one, FreeBSD was free. Two, they purchased from Berkeley Data Systems, which BSD came from, a developer's license, and they've been maturing it ever since. And what is it, like version 10.14, and there's like 80 different reversions in between. It's Linux. Windows just released in its May 2019 update a Linux kernel for Windows 10. And they just released the preview of their next OS today. It's all turning to Linux. It doesn't matter if it's Windows. It doesn't matter if it's PC. It doesn't matter if it's Android. Android now runs off a freaking browser. Who cares? It runs off everything. So when somebody comes to me and goes, I'm a Mac person. Well, that's adorable. Golf clap. That's so cute. You're a nice little fanboy. Go home. Get the little waving the flag. That's adorable. I'm a PC. I'm an Android. I'm an iPhone. I don't care. Everything I do works with infrastructure. Everything has its place. From Macs to PCs to QuickBooks to Enterprise to SQL to Amazon. Everything has its place. If you're so adamant about, I want everything to run on Mac, you're going to be very disappointed because the same stuff I put on PCs is what I put on Mac every day. Well, how is it different? It's not. You're going to argue over something that it's not. It's all converging. Probably 100 years, it'll be one OS run by 15 companies. They'll all be interacting with each other. Right now, you got a Galaxy, Android, running on a Samsung, plugged into a Mac, running Windows in the background. You're already 90% there. It's just link them all together and let them talk. And that's where we're at. So
I didn't realize. So you're saying that Amazon actually has their own, what do you call it? The
workspaces?
Yeah.
Yes, they do. They have a virtual desktop environment that its client, which you connect from, where you go to, is entirely Amazon-based. No matter where you come from, you're going to the same spot.
Well, it's kind of funny because there's an Amazon app on the phone that I've noticed that has its own app store, and it's like to get into that, you have to run that app, and it's almost like that's what you're saying. It sounds like that's what you're talking about on the computer.
Correct and wrong. Basically, most people are understood about Amazon on their storefront. The Amazon store, the App Store. That's the retail. We don't touch it. But the point is, back in 2004, some brilliant engineer said, listen, for the last 15 years, that's how long Amazon has been in business, we have had this data farm. It's owned by Jeff Bezos. And 90% of the time, these servers do nothing. Can we rent out the servers when they're not doing anything? Yes, you can. And AWS was born. There was the first cloud child. And they developed it. And they matured it. They are still the leader. There are people trying to claim, Azure is coming up. If you ever dealt with Azure tech support, you don't want to. It's just evil. Just go with that. And if you deal with AWS, they are hardened, military-like people who give you answers like you've never heard before. I need to put in a data farm of 15 workstations. I need to do 10 servers. I need SQL, web development, DMZ, and stuff like that. They will give me a solution working, complete with the process by the end of the day. If I call before 9, after that, you're just being silly. But they will give me a solution. How to do it safely, securely, and thing. Prime example is GoDaddy. GoDaddy was and still is the biggest registrar of domain names. Last year, they moved their entire infrastructure to AWS. All of it. Every single bit. You know how much data centers GoDaddy has now? None. 0. Shut them all down. Moved them to AWS. Moved them all in their infrastructure. We don't want to deal with this garbage. We don't want to deal with some family website. Let's move it to AWS. And they did. Solved a lot of problems. And there are dozens of data centers worldwide. Well, what happens when you get attacked? And you're giving me a hypothesis. Well, I have a client who was so psycho, he wanted a Sydney, Australia data instance, and we did that. We moved it.
So how does it actually work, though? So you run a program on top of your Mac or on top of your PC, and it opens up like an Amazon operating system, basically, on top of your operating system.
You actually drop right into Windows. You drop right into Windows. It's accessible from anything, even on your phone, your desktop, on a tablet. It just is a client to a desktop. It could be on Windows. They now have Mac. They also have Linux. So you can have unlike-kind clients connecting to a common infrastructure. So a real estate agency can connect to all of their workstations into one environment. You control all of the information, all the data safely, securely, and completely. You can have a development corporation. You can run frickin' Walmart off of it. You literally could. And Walmart has and does.
So does it launch the Amazon app automatically when your computer turns on? Or
It launches it, but you have to enter in your password because it's not going to allow you to save it for safety. But it allows you to log right into a desktop, pops right in. You can run all your screens all at once. You can print your home printer if you are authorized to, et cetera, et cetera. And you can control the data. So if you wanted people to print from home, they could. Or if you only wanted them to print to your office copier, you could. Or if you wanted them to be able to access this one program when they log in every time, like a web-based one or something, they could. You have that option. As a business owner, you can do that. Now, a lot of people go, how expensive is it? It's cheaper than losing your shirt when your computer dies. And your computers are now a commodity, not a necessity. So if your Mac, your building gets hit by lightning and your Mac turns into toast, so what? Go down to Staples, buy a new one, crack it open, log in, and your data is literally sitting there waiting for you. That's the idea.
Yeah.
Backups and data failures are becoming extremely uncommon, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah, thing of the past.
Yeah.
I agree. So whether I have a Mac or a PC or whatever computer I have, I can run this Amazon app, and that's my whole operating system.
Your
is
whole
within
universe.
That. Yeah. Everything is within there, and no matter what system I'm on, they all look the same.
Yeah.
I love that. That's a great idea.
Yeah. It's called having a homogeneous infrastructure.
No
matter where you are, there you are.
No, I like that. That sounds very attractive. So there were a couple more things that I found interesting about what it is that you do. And this is one of the things I love about doing this podcast, because I get to learn things that I would have never learned hadn't I sat down with you and actually gone through this process. How many people actually sit down with somebody for an hour and have an in-depth conversation about what it is that they do?
We actually
awesome.
ask our clients
Yeah.
on a quarterly basis to come down. What do you like to eat? Do you like hamburgers? Do you like steaks? We literally drag them into our conference room and we listen to them. When somebody's smacking on a burger and you're talking with a Ray and they're like the mustard crap on their shirt, they will talk about some of the problems that they've had.
Yeah.
Are we perfect? Absolutely not. I am not going to make that falsehood, but we are trying to be better. And I would like to talk to our clients instead of selling to them. I would like to sit down, listen to them. Well, I understand the Mac, Adobe Pro. I don't understand why I had to pay for Pro when everyone else in Windows has standard. Well, it is a limitation for Adobe. And then we can sit down and explain that Adobe does not sell Adobe Acrobat standard for Macs. It's only Pro, and we can actually see the limitations. We can actually sit down instead of being Johnny on the spot in the moment and they're getting upset. We actually explain, we understand it, and then they come to us with either logistical issues like, I had this part repaired. Well, the company you bought it from went out of business, and we need to fix this printer. And this printer you really, really wanted because it was a blueprint printer. And the company who bought it wanted to charge this and that. We overnight it, and we go over the details, and we try to do customer service, and we try to explain to clients, and they try to explain to us some of what they want from us. Mm-hmm. And that is for what I consider to be a good company. We actually listen to you. Are we going to take every idea of yours and change our universe? No. If you're going to come to me with a good idea that's affecting us and we're seeing it often, yeah, we'll change it. We'll help move it along, and it'll a catalyst to help move it along. But, I want someone to be on call 24 hours a day. I want somebody at Sunday at 11 p.m. to pick up their phone. Good luck with that. Because the DOR has shut my industry down. The day of texting, email, or contacting your IT person after hours, gone in our industry. My CPA today and my bookkeeper today, I had a meeting today alone. They are shutting that down by means of government. So I text my IT guy 10 years ago. Why can't you do it now? Because then I would have to charge you for it. Well, they didn't used to do it back then. Well, you know what? We used to run horses. We used to have blacksmiths. They're few and far between because better technology and changes have happened. The DOR is now coming after me, my people. Oh, you pay them salary, but they worked for 3 hours on a Sunday night. Did you pay them for that? No, because their salary. The DOR has shut that down for industry. Do we have solutions for that? Yes, we do. But people have to understand that industries evolve. No longer could you buy a place on Madison Avenue in New York on a shake, a hand thing, and a hug on the back. Now you have to do a ton of paperwork and due diligence. You have to do inspections. And the bank has the right to pull the deal all the way back to the time that you pull the pen off the paper. That's your industry, how real estate's changed. My industry has done the same. We have to educate. We have to inform that the day of $2 email hosting a year, gone, dead in the water. When you've had a banker and their CIO walk through your door going, we have 3 mutual clients, 2 attorneys and a CPA that all have to have this encryption, and it's going to not only, I can't even say triple their bill, they'll go 12 times their bill just for them to do business. We have to implement it, but we have to tell them in a way. Like, listen, when you have multi-factor, we have encryption, we now have to have this, and legal hold and add on and archives. Because if you don't, your real estate closings end, you might as well retire. You're done. And I have to tell people that, and we have the solutions to do it that make the banks happy, that make the real estate people happy, and we have to make the investors happy. But our industry's changed like any other, and just keeping up with the times, keeping up with the solutions, keeping up with the things. That's, it's fun and entertaining.
So the 3 other things, before I forget, I want to make sure I don't get too off track of things, because I want to make sure I hit these 3 things. One of them is, we want to talk about marijuana.
Yep.
The other one is, it's always a fun subject.
Yep.
And then the other one is the solar.
Yep.
And then the third one, or it's not really a subject so much as your business has, the trajectory has gone up through the stratosphere in the last 3 years or so. I think it was. You were moving right along, and you were making steady progress, and you were getting your name out there, talking to everybody. I would see you everywhere, and then all of a sudden it just went straight vertical.
Yep.
And I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit. What's your experience been in that? I think that's interesting.
So we got into the cannabis industry. Now, like I said, I created my business in 2001. I keep my ear to the rail for distant industries that are coming about. Cloud. I've seen its birth. I've seen its maturity. I have seen consolidation. I've seen managed IT take off. 2001, never heard of managed IT. No one ever heard of it. Fixed price for unlimited services? What are you talking about? I don't even know what they're talking about. It's like talking about the space program, the Cowboys. What? You don't get it. We've seen it. I can see what's going on. Cannabis in Massachusetts, where we're located, is a relatively new, it's not even a year-old industry. But a lot of rules have thrown off IT people to the point to where they've literally, I won't handle it. I've even talked to my CPA today, again, a side subject on that from just dealing with the changes in their IT industry. They won't touch it because the rules for them haven't been set. But the rules for IT have. We're what they call an ancillary provider. You are a cultivator. I've got 50,000 square feet. I want to do 12,500 square feet of Jamaican purple sticky. I want to do Hawaiian Maui Wowie. I want to do Kleenex light marijuana. I want to do standard grade out of the Dominican Republic. How do I do it safely? Great. I can give you an idea. First of all, Massachusetts, they give you a set of rules, and a lot of people go, oh, well, they're not set in stone. There's nothing set in stone. It's whatever the rules are at the time. And the rules are simple. One, you got to secure your field. First of all, you need fencing the whole gosh darn way around. You need intrusion management. So you basically have cameras. Stick a giant fisheye in the middle of your field. 50,000 square feet, which nobody has, but we have a bunch of 10,000 square footers. It covers the deal. Well, I need to know, these rules are complicated. They're not. But we have experienced with this. Need to have the police to have access to the cameras. They need to have access controls. You need to have your people's background checks. You need to have everything with backup and backup. I have given in multiple vertical-based cannabis industries. And vertical means from cultivation to logistics to production to dispensary to walking out the door. That's a vertical. We control the whole aspect of it. We've taken over multiple ones. Our name's all over Massachusetts. And the idea is simple. Again, you concentrate on your business. I'm trying to sell cannabis to the public. I don't want to concern myself with the phones or the cameras, the goddamn Wi-Fi. I want people, when they walk through the door and they present their state-issued license, to swipe it and walk right through. And I want them to walk out with their product and they keep behind their cash. Can I do that? It's actually a conversation, and I said yes. And we have done just that for 7 dispensaries. And that's the idea. You concentrate on your business, we concentrate on the big picture. Okay, you need to make sure that the cannabis product your dispensary is licensed. We have processes for that. We recommend Leaf Logics for their point of sale. You need to make sure that the software is fully compatible. They have backups. You have to have a man trap in there between the access to the outside and the business, so you can have the ATM vestibule. People take the IDs. Oh, well, you're 18, you can go. We have a 21 age limit here. Goodbye. Little things like that, but people don't think of that. That's our job. We look at the infrastructure, the 10,000 foot picture, and then we help those clients. All right, I've got 10,000 square feet of Jamaican purple sticky. How do I get it to my production facility 2 towns over? Logistics. You need to have a locked-in back door that locks up to a dock. You also have to track that thing, because you know what? They may want to stop at McDonald's. Nah. How do we put in a GPS tracker on that, and how do we make it live? We have that technology that affixes it to the vehicle. Why'd you stop here? Well, I had to stop at McDonald's. You go to the bathroom beforehand, you don't stop in between. That helps comply with the law. And these laws aren't weird. They may be unusual, but they're not weird. It's not hard to comply. Now, all of this time, that's cute. That's great. All this time in my business, I helped cultivate ex-military. I made sure that all my techs, because dealing with bankers, CPAs, schools, children, my techs had to be certified, background checked, and clean. Nobody with a major arrest record, no problems that interfere with our clients, nothing that even remotely gives a yellow flag. But that's translated to the cannabis industry. When the state starts asking you questions, I can give you answers, and I can give you the right answers. And I can help you move to the people that logistics, email, and legalities. Point is, our people were already in position. From military to government, we had ex-government and ex-military employees. We have people fresh out of college. We have people with certifications. We don't have people that are like, you know what, I know you. I've told my friends multiple times, I can't hire you. You have a case on your history. I can't hire you because I work with banks. I work with financial people. I can't do that. But that perseverance for the last decade is translated to be able to help the cannabis industry. Mm-hmm. And our people are clean. They're clear. We have safe harbor certification, which a lot of people go, what does that mean? Basically means that our books are open to the state. They're open to the licensure. They're open to the banks. When they say, well, you could be working for a drug cartel. Let me shut it down. We have people look at my books every 24 hours. The money that comes in, the money that comes out, of course, we get a profit margin like any other business, but it's not going to some foreign entity. It's going to payroll. It's going to benefits. It's going to people. Things that a normal business has. Mm-hmm. And that is that little safe. You know, like that old movie with Chris Farley, Tommy Boy, when that guy was selling that oil filter. You know, that little warning on the bottom of the box. I'm going to make it feel so much better. I'm going to think, you know what, things go wrong, I'm going to help you. That little warranty. You know, it's like, I can stick my head up a cow's ass, or I can take the butcher's word for it. Well, guess what? The butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker all standing next to me, and they're saying it's okay.
Oh, man, you're a trip. You're right. I appreciate you coming out here and recording this podcast with me, Trav. Sometimes I have to admit, you are maybe one of the few people that can talk and actually overwhelm me with the amount of information that you provide me.
But the other thing is, I didn't get technical. I didn't get into the details.
No, you didn't get into the details.
That's the point. Nobody cares about what kind of toner model they have on their brother printer. They just want to print, and that's the idea.
But I think I do this, what you just did to me here today, I feel like maybe I do this to people sometimes when it comes, because I'm kind of like, I'm wound up, like I'm ambitious, and I talk fast, and I talk about a lot of things. And maybe I have too many things that I talk about at the same time. So, but man, I'll tell you what, you really give me a run for my money.
And that's the point, is that I'm good at what I do. I eat my own food, meaning, when somebody goes, well, why should I outsource my IT to you? Mm-hmm. My kid is really good at computers. That's great. I'm okay at finance. I'm okay at HR. I'm okay at electrical. I don't do any of them because I realize what I'm good at, and it's not them. I outsource my HR.
I get the impression you'd be good at whatever it is that you chose to do.
And that's the point.
Yeah.
I focus and I make sure I'm the best at it. But I'm not a jack of all trades. I've had to put in multiple pages of my certifications, my partnerships, and my alliances because somebody asked me. And when I put it into a BNI, they were like, well, this one other guy has a Microsoft partnership. I said, yeah, what level? They were like, what? I'm like, let me send you over this. My business development manager even was shocked. Like, we have that many? I'm like, yeah, we have about 40 certifications right now. We can't even put them on our website because it'll load too long. We can't do it. When somebody asks, we'll present it, and we put it into a nice little confluence that they can look at it, and they're like, wait, we're certified in that? I'm like, yeah, we got certified in 2017. Oh, that's 2014. What is Microsoft? That's 2004. That's the point. We focus on what we're good at, and that's what we focus on. We try valiantly not to do outsider stuff. Well, do you build software? Not a chance. You make websites? Nope. Do you market? Not a chance. We make infrastructure. And if you're having a problem with infrastructure, that's what we do. We solve it right, we make it thing. We ask a ton of questions. The reason why? We're not selling you software and programs. We're selling you solutions. When you come down to me and go, you know what, I literally want to be on a train in Boston. I want to pull up my MMR, my MRR, my monthly recurring revenue. How do I do that? Let me handle it. I can figure out, I can work with people, and we do vendor management. So if you're opening up a dispensary, a real estate office, a motel, a hotel, or a dentist's office, or even a doctor's office, I don't know anything, I just want you to handle it. I'm not joking. We've had clients like that. We'll handle it all. Contact Comcast, Charter, Atlantic Broadband, Cox. Well, you need satellite, you need cellular. You have AT&T? We have AT&T. We're a master agent for hundreds of companies. So when you say, I need to open an office in Harrisville in Rhode Island, that's all I need to hear, bro. That's it. Tell me what your budget is. We can work around it, and we'll get you your office. Here's your keys. Day one, done. Good luck. And we will make sure it runs every day after that. And that's the point. You concentrate on what you do. We concentrate on what we do. And we bring in partners that we trust, we know of, and we are not afraid to literally yell at to get the job done. Well, we told you August 3rd. Well, guess what? That's a promise of mine. I didn't say promise. I didn't ask. You're getting the cable in August 3rd. Well, we're going on vacation. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I'm talking to the wrong person. Let me talk to your boss because apparently I was talking to the moron in charge. Let me get to the guy in charge. I've done that. I've yelled at Charter. I've traveled to Charter HQ in Connecticut. Wow. To get a school up and running in Leicester, you would be shocked. When the VP of Charter, now you think, well, that's not that high up. It's really high up for a multi-billion-dollar corporation. To hand-pick that school because they're having charter issues. Brand new line, 25 miles of coax. It got installed. Their problem solved. 300 kids, no problem. But we have to yell. We have to scream. We have to get it there. Now ask yourself as a business owner, will you do that? Do you have that power? Do you know who to talk to? Do you know how to talk to them? No, we don't.
All right. Well, very impressive, Trav, as always. So I'd love to have you back in the future, and we can talk about your things that are whatever's coming up next, because who knows what's going to be happening. And
it's always a changing horizon.
Yeah. You have to be adaptable. So and with the way things that are going, the way that things are going right now, we don't even know what's going to happen with the whole cannabis industry. Connecticut next. So we'll see what happens with that. And solar. We didn't even talk about solar, but that's another thing.
That's another thing for a different day. There are many industries that IT affects in everyday way you can think. That's a whole different week worth of podcasts.
So let's actually give your contact information, your phone number, email address, web address, Facebook page, all that stuff.
So basically, you go to Triton Technologies, Worcester, Mass, and Google. You can pull us up. If you go to TritonComputerCorp.com, that's TRITON, computercorp.com. If you look for me, Trave Harmon, not Travis, not Travel, or Trevor, Trave Harmon, you'll easily pull me up. Our main phone number is 866-304-4300. We have a presence in most of the Northeast United States, and we have contacts all over. So I live in Connecticut. Our main office is in Worcester. We have offices in Hartford, Boston, and Providence. We can handle whatever you got, wherever you got.
All right, Trav, thank you so much for being on the show. And thanks, everybody, for listening to the Real Deal Business Podcast. Just going to wrap it up real quick. A little plug for myself here. Anthony Chabot, Chabot & Associates Real Estate Group of EXP. And I live in Connecticut, but I've been working in central Massachusetts, as Trav has, for a very long time. And we do commercial and residential real estate, as well as real estate marketing, including I have my drone FAA license, and I have a Matterport camera for virtual tours, 3D virtual tours. I also do floor plans, professional photography, web design, and video production. So if you have any questions on any of those items, please give me a call at 508-847-0902 or visit online at shabotandassociates.com. Thanks so much for listening, everybody, and we'll see you next time.